All right, so it looks like the IRS whistleblowers in the Hunter Biden tax case are going to be getting a job promotion. So, as a brief recap to the Hunter Biden issues, you recall that he was basically facing two big cases, so one of which was related to some gun related charges, and then the second big one were his tax issues. So, he had a lot of unpaid federal taxes over several years. It was close to $1.5 million. There were also some allegations that he falsified business deductions, completely failed to file returns for certain years. And so ultimately, all of that was wiped clean through the presidential pardon by President Joe Biden. But these two whistleblowers did come forward during the investigation and allege that the Department of Justice was and the IRS at the time were interfering with this investigation and making it difficult for the Special Counsel David Weiss to do his job. Now, if we take a look at the pardon, so the pardon, again, this was a blanket pardon, which was going back 10 years, right? So the full unconditional pardon for those offenses against the U.S., which he has committed or may have committed during the period Jan 1, 2014 through December 1, 2024. So a full 10 years going back retroactively. And it does specifically call out the charges in these two cases. So Special Counsel David Weiss, the first docket there related to the gun-related charges, and then the second one filed in the Central District of California was related to the unpaid federal taxes and other tax-related charges. So all of that was wiped out, but these two individuals that came forward and testified before Congress, they are now being promoted within the Treasury Department, so within the IRS. So if we have a look at the article here, we have the Treasury Department has promoted two IRS whistleblowers who accused the DOJ under President Joe Biden of granting his son Hunter special treatment during the years-long probe into his tax affairs. So the two individuals here are Gary Shapley and Joseph Ziegler, two veteran IRS investigators. They are now going to serve as senior advisors to incoming Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who said in a statement on Tuesday that he is pleased to welcome them to the team, where they will help us drive much-needed cultural reform within the IRS. So Shapley and Ziegler came forward in 2023 with allegations that the Biden admin improperly interfered in an investigation into Hunter Biden's unpaid taxes, led by then U.S. Attorney for Delaware David Weiss, claims that Justice Department and FBI officials fiercely disputed. So, of course, at the time, the DOJ and the FBI and the IRS all said, look, we're not doing anything to impede the investigation. We're not providing any favoritism here. And obviously, these two individuals thought otherwise. So Ziegler said, it appeared to me, based on what I experienced, that the U.S. Attorney in Delaware in our investigation was constantly hamstrung, limited, and marginalized by DOJ officials. So he said that during his testimony in July 2023. So after they testified, a plea deal was negotiated by Hunter Biden and the Justice Department, but again, it fell apart under questioning from a federal judge. So the deal had been worked out. And, as a reminder, a lot of times the defendant, their counsel, and a prosecutor will work out a deal, and they'll go to the judge and say, hey, we've got a deal in place. But the judge doesn't often have to follow it. If the judge wants to throw it out, they're usually well within their rights to be able to do so. And that's what happened here. The judge tossed the deal. And so they said, well, go back and work out something else that sounds a bit more equitable. All right, so David Weiss here, the Trump-appointed prosecutor who led the probe into Hunter Biden, repeatedly refuted the claims by Shapley and Ziegler and asserted that he faced no political pressure from the Biden administration officials to grant Hunter any special treatment. So that was the other side of the problem, is Weiss was he was taking heat from every side. So he was taking heat from the Biden administration, saying that this was politically motivated, and he would refute that and say, no, I'm just following the facts where they lead me. We're not unfairly targeting Hunter Biden. We see the crimes here, and so we're following the facts where they lead us and charging him. But then on the other side, he would get heat from the Republican side of the aisle and say, hey, you're giving special treatment here. And then he would say, well, no, I mean, you guys are ridiculous. I'm not being hamstrung by the Department of Justice or the IRS or the FBI. Everybody is cooperating fully and giving me all the information I want. And so he took issue with the testimony from Shapley and Ziegler and said that, no, I don't feel like I'm being unfairly hamstrung during this investigation. Now, the lead here, so Senator Chuck Grassley says that, he had a substantial role in securing these promotions. He said that he wrote Besson, so that's Scott Besson, multiple letters encouraging him to promote these two whistleblowers, and that today's announcement is the result of Grassley's direct request. So Grassley clearly has a soft spot for these two and wanted them to not just stay within the Treasury Department, but wanted to see them get promoted for their work and then for their courage to come forward as whistleblowers and let Congress know exactly what was going on. Gary Shapley and Joe Ziegler put their entire careers on the line to stand up for the truth, and instead of being thanked, the Biden administration treated them like skunks at a picnic. That's an interesting one. I've never heard that phrase used, skunks at a picnic. I hope today is the first of many redemption stories for whistleblowers who've been mistreated. So that I think we can largely agree with, right? So the whole point is whistleblowers should be able to come forward if they see any kind of impropriety or nefarious kind of activities going on, and they should be confident that they're not going to be unfairly chastised or maligned, fired, prosecuted, whatever it might be, for simply seeing what they think is misconduct and then coming forward. So yeah, I'm on board with that last statement. Of course, we need to have a proper avenue for whistleblowers to come forward, and speak the truth if they do see something that's going on that's certainly not appropriate. Okay, so that covers it for this update. I'll put a link below so you can go check out the ABC News article. There's a lot of news stations covering this, so if you just do a Google search, Hunter Biden's whistleblowers, something will come up. But I'll put a link below to the article, and then of course the Hunter Biden pardon issued by President Joe Biden, and then also I'll put links below to the two cases if you get really bored and want to go read through them. But of course, it's a moot issue now because Hunter Biden's been pardoned, right? So all of those issues he had with the gun-related charges and the taxes, he's not going to be prosecuted for them. Everything's been dropped. All right, so again, that covers it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, as always. You sticking with me to the end here, and I look forward to seeing you on the next update. Thank you.